Can you feel it? The walls between the sane world and that unplumbed dimension of delirium are tenuously thin here.
Welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. This episode's gonna be kinda strange.
Oh. Strange how?
Well, as I was recording these episodes in particular, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to expedite things a little bit further. I'm gonna try to lay off the preparations, just do things without thinking, and hope it works. But when I get into the actual dungeon, things get a little frustrating. Not as frustrating as the fact that I still can't level up my guild, but
You only have yourself to blame for that one.
yeah. I think once I get another batch of recordings going, I have to start specifically focusing on getting paintings, because this is getting unforgivable at this point.
Of
course, that doesn't help.
And dalliance await those who cross the threshold with
No.
coin in hand.
Look, man, I just need some crest to make the brothel a little bit better. Come on.
With enough ale, maybe they can be
Why?
inured against the horrors below.
Why would you upgrade the brothel and not anything else?
I think at this point I was trying to get more. At that point, I was like, okay, I didn't like what happened last time. I'm gonna get stress removal up and running. That way, we never have to run into this problem again. And now, in retrospect, I realize I probably should have saved those paintings. Especially since I'm not even using the inn. Great.
You are just really good at this game.
I know, right? Don't even have a single problem. Hey, look, another profane scroll.
Oh, wow. I was just throwing them at us.
Yeah. That shield is alright, I guess. The padlock's okay. Yeah, that looks good. The speed cloak is weird because it's another one of those accessories that just never appeared on my radar.
You should go to the Warrens. There's a champion dungeon. You could show that off.
I mean, I could if I had people competent enough to do it.
You've got a team of level 4 so you can handle it.
Can they? With level 3 skills?
Sure.
No way. Those people would die so quick it'd be almost comical.
Or it might be actually comical.
The only way it would be comical is if I actually succeed. Got a little extra money, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to upgrade some of the guys' gear as well. Yeah.
He says, and then runs away from the gear upgrade screen.
Well, I was checking to see if I could upgrade skills first, because I had not used Logical Fallacy in a long time, admittedly. There we go. I really should update the mace on the Vestals, just so if they ever have to finish anyone off, they will have a little extra damage to do so.
I believe the term you're looking for is a fucking chance to do so.
Yeah. And after seeing that Lucy has what's it called? The worries, I don't want to bring him to the Cove, because the Cove has the potential for a lot of stress damage. So we'll put Shunkel on double duty.
Trying to figure out the purpose behind that team composition name.
That's a good question, because I guess the front two people are bad cops and the back two people are good cops?
But the front two people, I mean, one of them's a crusader. He can't not be a good cop.
They're like, oh, Crusader's a bad cop because he's one of those Crusaders that just kind of murdered and pillaged and stole everything. The nicknames are so weird, I kind of wish there was a little extra flair with them, like maybe give them unique attacks, unique combinations, but it's purely atmosphere, and I don't quite know how to feel about that.
Well, I mean, there are some classes that I think still don't have any unique composition names.
So look at how small this dungeon is.
They must be flushed out.
Yeah. Why is this video so long?
Oh, you'll see in a minute. Once we get to a certain point, at that point in the video, I just kind of sighed and just hung my head in resignation. So, this mission is a battle scenario, so scouting helps, and I do need to explore. I do need to go to every room of the battle, even when there's a tedium in between.
Eradicated.
Having the upgraded gear really helps a lot. It's great.
It's almost like this game is balanced for it.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you try and stun an already stunned enemy?
That was judgment. That was meant to do.
Was it?
Yeah, that was meant to do damage, but I just missed entirely.
Wow.
Another reason why you should get those portraits going. Also, an interesting note, ever since I got that marksman's bracer, I'm going to probably be using that a lot more because it's super good just to have 10 accuracy for free.
You don't even have... Oh, wait. Okay. Okay. Alright.
What were you going to scream about?
I thought I saw something. I saw it wrong.
Destroy them all.
Look, even I am fallible at some point, okay?
Yeah, and this fight right here is why I didn't want to take the other Vestal, because this fight with the Worries is not great. Especially when I miss entirely. Twice. I think at
I
that
don't know what you're talking about, you're doing fine.
I think at about that point I just kind of sat there like, wow, how did I miss twice?
Yes, keep stressing the Vestal.
Yeah, the AI is so prone to doing that, it's crazy. And since I have no stress removal, this becomes a huge problem. Also, good job guarding the wrong idiot. Balls. Whatever. Bleed's not gonna work, but it's all I got. There we go. I think the debuff gets stronger in the higher difficulties as well, because in the novice difficulties, that little Rend for the Old Gods causes a debuff for 10% stress damage. I'm pretty sure now it does like 15 or something.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, looking at it now, I really have no reason for putting Dazzling Lights on there, because all my Vestals will have, by default, less than 100% chance to stun. And at this point in the game, every monster has somewhere around 70 to 100, at least, maybe more.
I don't think it's quite that bad.
Unforeseen.
Man, Blight's great.
Yeah.
Now I just gotta deal with this brick shit house. I think the worst part is that we haven't even seen why the Cove is so bad yet because of how unlucky I've been. I mean, sure, we got the Octopus Guard, but that's just easy. There's no problem there.
I'm still waiting to see my best friend.
I am too. I hate him. Wow, nice. That's a kill.
How is your Plague Doctor the most effective melee person you have?
Well, she's very good at surgery.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
And now all he's gonna do is punch us. And it's a good thing too, because his prot just ran out, so we could sweep this up easy.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Yeah, everybody says Highwayman's not great, but point blank shot is too good.
I've never heard anyone say the Highwayman is not great.
By the way, I remember a bunch of people in the thread saying that, it's not a glitch, it's intended that you could disarm those traps with the, anti-venom. That's wrong.
Paid for in blood.
Yeah, it only seems to work in the wield for some reason.
Because of the interaction with the locked luggage. But everybody said, no, that's wrong, you don't know what you're talking about.
Were you just about to tell the audience to fuck off?
No, I was just doing
I mean, it kind of sounded like you were about to tell him to fuck off, and then you thought better of it.
I wouldn't think better of it. I don't have that kind of filter in my head. This is such a tedious circumstance, because this enemy team has 2 stuns. And
Yep.
And if, to make things worse, we got these shellmen here.
Well, I mean, at least they're somewhat easy to chop through. And they don't leave a corpse.
Yeah, that makes it a lot better. But they have like, what, 70% prot?
Or something like that, I don't know.
Do they bleed? Yeah, they got a high bleed resist, but that thing's dead. You mentioned it before, but everything in the Cove has a high bleed resist, and it only gets higher from this point out.
Mm-hmm.
An interesting note, the shockers cause less bleed resist, because there's a lot of enemies that cause bleed in the Cove, including them, but there's also one very dangerous enemy that causes bleed, and I don't like him.
Gently.
But he's so good.
How a life is taken.
I mean, yeah, but I still don't like him. Also good. The person with like 80% stress is now dealing with less virtue chance.
Wonderful.
Hell, I think anyway just completely negates the ability to be virtuous. Because from what I remember, the ratio is like,
Give them no quarter.
I think it's 65% chance to be a negative one, while positive is like 35%.
I'm not sure anyone actually knows the correct ratios. We just sort of guess at this point.
Well, I got the tab up, so let's see if we can get that research done quickly, as that crit is really damn good.
Their formation is broken.
Affliction,
Maintaining offensive.
afflictions, ratios. Base virtue chance is 25%, with 5% per level. So at the level we're at, Shankle would have a 10% chance to be a virtuous.
I like those odds.
I know, right? Really good.
Let's roll them bones.
So here's why the dungeon takes so long. The second wave of this the second half of this dungeon is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights.
But you got a nice curio-laden hallway here.
Oh yeah, that'll be great. Hopefully people won't have, like, compulsions and maybe cut their fingers on shit.
Wealth beyond measure.
Don't ever do that again.
Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
I tossed the stun... go ahead.
I mean, he didn't kill himself on it. He at least got something.
Yeah. And this fight's not great. Especially when I can't hit for shit this game. And neither can the enemy. Like, this is the reason right here why this dungeon takes so long. Everybody keeps fucking missing.
Great.
Don't know why I didn't try to go for the cut through. I think I was doing the odds and the damage range just isn't enough with Prot.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Pretty sure you could have had a decent chance of taking him out with judgment.
Probably. I'd have to look back at the footage in post and see if that was the case.
Oh, well, that Vestal has a level 1 mace, doesn't she?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, that might skew things a little bit.
Man, these hits are getting a little dire. I don't like a 10 damage uppercut. This is like the worst spot for my highwayman to be right now.
Yeah, that's
Actually,
awful.
It's alright. One funny thing I noticed while looking at this recording, all the corpse icons have a specific color and it's related to the novice version, so those, when those brown shirted dudes died, they left a green corpse behind.
Huh.
I think something like that would require a bit too much effort to do, though, so I don't mind that,
Yeah, I mean, you've already got one guy doing all the art for this game. It's kind of a lot to ask of somebody.
Yeah, and he's, and it looks really, really good.
Yeah.
So I could let that little thing slide.
Destroyed.
Especially when they give me point blank shot. Accuracy is just awful today. I don't get it.
Annihilated.
Yeah. Only you had like a guild or something.
I know, right? If only I had people to train these folk to be competent. But nah, it's fine. I'll make do with what I got. A bunch of heads and really shiny weapons.
You know, far be it from me to point out the obvious, but you would actually be so worried about stress if you didn't equip a head on every fucking person.
It's a good point, but the heads are just that powerful. And
Roll them bones.
no, I knew that was gonna happen, just in general.
Gasping.
I was just sitting there like, yeah, of course, fucking hit the person with ennui with stress, you dick.
I believe it's pronounced ennui.
Is it? I've never heard the word spoken, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, crit that corpse.
It fucking ruined that dead body, it's great. Irrational is probably the best affliction to get because it's not as awful as some of the other ones, like masochistic and I think hopeless is another one that's really bad. Hopeless just sucks because the hero denies heals and will just pass turns, which is terrible.
I always really hated Paranoid.
Yeah, Paranoid, you just can't do anything to a target. They'll be like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to do this, you're stupid. No, I don't want to do that, you're stupid. I'm just gonna go back a row and just fucking jerk off in a corner.
Foolish horrors. Brought low and driven into the mud.
I really do hate it when heroes get afflicted. It's the worst. Just the element of not having control makes me so mad.
That's kind of the one unique the one unique mechanic of this entire game.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of love it.
It's a good mechanic, but I hate it because it makes me mad.
In fact, back in early access, I once read a sort of experimental save file. Excuse me. Where I basically turned off heart attacks to let everyone get afflicted.
How'd it go?
And tried to... not as well as I wanted it to.
You just kept getting afflictions and everything sucked.
Well, I mean, I never healed anyone's affliction, so everyone just stayed afflicted all the time. Yeah.
That sounds awful. Why would you do that? Just run a game where everybody is always unwound.
Yeah. I wanted to see how far I could actually get.
How far did you get?
I think I beat like 3 bosses before I just gave up.
Just out of boredom.
Boredom mixed with frustration, yeah.
Oh, I could see the frustration, yeah.
I had a lot of party wipes in that.
Oh, wow. It's a good thing that you can never truly game over in Darkest Dungeon, and you just get more goons to throw into the manor.
Speaking of game overing in Darkest Dungeon, are you going to show off New Game Plus?
I mean, I could, but I don't know if I'm going to do the whole thing of New Game Plus.
Well, no, it's really not worth showing the whole thing off, just... There's a couple interesting changes in there.
Yeah, most of it is at the beginning, but yeah, there is... I could do a video or two on New Game Plus just to show off the meat and veggies of it.
Mm-hmm.
$13 to 23 is like a 10 damage range for the attack, and Lash Lightning has been... Huh, that was weird.
What?
The bark for the Vestal had some pink text in it, which is a sign of a glitch in the code. But as I was saying, I've noticed that during this video, at some points Lash will just hit really low on the damage scale. Like, more often than the 20 damage hits he gets. And I can't get that stupid fucking fishman. Damn it.
Well, I remember the devs, or is possibly the community manager, John, who did the streams back in the day, said that Darkest Dungeon was kind of unique among these XCOM-likes in that it actually had a true RNG, as opposed to like new XCOMs that have RNG that actually skews itself in your favor if you keep missing.
What do you mean by true RNG? That's like just pure randomness. There's no pattern recognition to it.
No, none whatsoever.
That's
like yeah, like the new XCOM games. Like if you just keep missing over and over again, they'll eventually just skew the odds in your favor no matter what you do.
Yeah, I actually saw that in the XCOM 2 thread going on right now. But so it's just pure randomness, no bias in this game. That's interesting, though. I remember hearing that with video games you can never really get true randomness.
Well, probably not, but it's about as close to random as you can get.
But I do understand what the community dev was going for in saying that they wanted to give you they wanted it to be a pure feeling of just like everything is organic. There's no bias, there's no newbie forgiveness. It's a matter of everything you do is either thanks to you or your fault. Which is good, because I do like the fact that there's no code in the back fucking with things.
I'm also going to point out, I like the number of people in the thread who said they bought the game and then got their asses kicked so early on.
Yeah.
I'm not really happy that you guys got your asses kicked. I'm happy that you're experiencing that instead of Highwing's really breezy run here.
Yeah. A lot of mine is luck, though, and also good preparation with certain missions. But it is interesting to see a lot of the reactions in the thread, because I know some people were like, hey, I just bought the game, and look at what I got in my first secret treasure chest, and they got like 2 of the fucking heads.
Yeah.
That's the beauty about this game, is that even if this is the quote-unquote comprehensive playthrough telling you how to do everything to make things easy on you, it's not the only way to play the game. You can play this game however the hell you want, and it will always be fun. Conversely, you could always you could play the game any way you want, and people will always say you're doing it wrong.
That is true. I mean, think what we haven't seen that in this thread, but I mean, one day maybe.
Well, we've kind of seen it in the thread. People have been getting really mad of how I handle food.
Because you handle food wrong.
See, right there. Oh, thank God this is the last mission. When I was recording this bit, I even said, man, this is way longer than it needs to be. It was 7 rooms, damn it. 7 rooms took this long. How the hell? Also, we mentioned it earlier in the LP, but here's the unique thing about the fishmen. Their spear now pulls, which is pretty cool, actually.
That pissed me off when I first got to the veteran dungeons and they started doing that.
I actually kind of liked it because it made sense.
Well, yeah, it makes sense. It didn't fail to piss me off, though.
It makes sense, but it still pisses you off when your healer gets pulled to the front and can't do anything.
Yeah.
I get to make an attack Vestal. Nope.
I mean, the cove is actually a really good place to run like a shuffle team, though.
Yeah. There is a lot of movement in... Actually, is there a lot of movement? There's only the spearmen, from what I remember.
Yeah, it's generally only the spearmen, but they show up almost in every fight, so...
Yeah. And we still haven't seen our best friend. What is this?
It's garbage.
I know, it's terrible. Also, why did I even bother trying to stun? I was like, let's see, 95 minus 45, that would be 50%, I want to say? So half and half, I guess. I don't know. Like, with the lowest, everybody wonders why I try to do surefire things, but it's the mindset of the XCOM games where, sure, it'll say 95%, but it's not 95%. It's more like 60. So if I see something like 50% chance, that's probably more like a 10%.
A devastating blow.
Yes, and saying 99% chance to hit, 100% chance to miss.
Yeah. That's XCOM, baby. Luckily, this is Darkest Dungeon, where it's the same thing, except there are ways to avoid that. Oh, thank God this mission is done.
Victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Like, this was a mission where I was just like, I'm gonna get a thing and it'll be done. And then it took way too long. Yeah, I got an interesting ring, at least.
Are often low on supplies.
Not really.
I mean, it could prove useful in one mission.
Are you talking about the town?
Yeah, I'm talking about base defense.
Okay, cool.
For a time.
I'm looking forward to seeing that, actually.
I've encountered that 3 times, and each time it hasn't been too bad, but there's always been casualties.
Yeah. I mean, it's not an easy fight.
Not in the least.